You are now watching Boss Lady News, highlighting businesses, nonprofits, events, talent. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Miss Brit Johnson.
How's everyone doing today? I'm excited to have you all here with me, Boss Lady News. You know you can always email me, bossladynews@gmail.com. We've got a great show for you today. We're going to be talking with, of course, Cube and Mike to find out what's going on in the entertainment news and with the celebrities. And we're also going to get a chance to speak with Aaron. You guys will really find out about him. He's an amazing artist. I got a chance to work with him as a model. And he's a teacher, so that's where I kind of really got to see his skills and how he worked with other young people aspiring to be artists as well. We're also going to get a chance to speak with Michael. Now, I met him and his wife while we were eating, and I was having another conversation, and I was overhearing their conversation, and they were overhearing my conversation, and then the next thing you know, I've got Elvis coming on to the show. So you guys are going to love that one. I'm super excited. And I'm really excited to introduce this next guest because my first opportunity to meet him was actually when I went over to UMass to be one of the models for the students, and I got a chance to see how he worked with other students in reference to their aspiring to be an artist, and he is quite the artist himself. I want you all to put your hands together for Aaron Norfolk. Hi.
Good to see you.
Please have a seat.
Thank you for having me on.
Well, thank you for coming on. The more I got a chance to come to the class and actually see you interact with the students, I really felt like this is something I'd really like to highlight on our channel. And, well, first and foremost, I always want to know, are you originally from the New England area?
I am not, no. Unfortunately not. No.
Where are you from?
I grew up around D.C., what's now considered the Northern Virginia area.
Okay.
And then moved to New York City, lived there for many years, and then I guess kept migrating north and finally came to New England.
Made your way over
finally
here.
Came to Boston. Yeah.
Well, welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
And how long have you been in the area for?
Ooh, about 9 years.
That's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
How are
been
you
a
with the
wonderful
weather?
It takes some
Do
adjustment.
you ever get used to it?
No, I don't know. Although the clothing helps.
Right.
Yeah, the more clothing I find, the more I like it here. It's more,
You
even
get used
today,
to the
10 degrees,
layering.
no problem.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
So before you made your way over here, and I'm just looking at these amazing paintings that you have right here next to you, were you always an aspiring artist?
I always saw myself as an artist. It was one of those things where it's kind of indivisible from who you are, so you'd never really see it the way maybe someone looking from the outside does. Mm-hmm. I just remember when I was in college and I was painting all the time, and they asked for someone that was creative, and they looked to me, and I was like, "Why are you looking at me?" And,
right.
And you start to realize that it's just something that you've always done, mm-hmm. and I don't know why I do it really. Even it's just an extension of me.
Where's your inspiration come from? There's a lot of detail that I've noticed you teach to your students, and we have one of your students here that's actually working on a piece, Willie.
Willie Hardin. Ladies and gentlemen.
Willie's going to be working on a piece while we go through our interview, and then we'll get a chance to kind of see what happens within this time. Yeah. So where does your inspiration even come from?
Originally, I was working mostly perceptually, mm-hmm. Still lives, portraiture, working with the figure, things like that. And it was really just from observation that all of the ideas come from. My imagination, everything, it comes from just looking at things and observing things, whether it's observing the news or the people on the street or people I interact with or stories mm-hmm. I'm reading or just looking at the plants in my apartment or something like that. It all somehow gets kind of filtered through my imagination, and then the next thing you know, you're making these images. They get a hold of you, and you have to produce them.
Right. I was just watching a piece about a Japanese woman who creates these infinity areas
Oh, okay. Yeah.
where she uses a lot of dots,
Yeah,
and she continues with that cycle of creating infinite images through
Right.
polka dots
Right,
and
yeah.
through structures, which
Yeah.
I thought was amazing.
Yeah.
But for her, it's therapeutic.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Okay.
as you're doing your artwork for yourself, did you originally find it to be therapeutic, and
It's
or do you
meditative.
find it to be therapeutic now?
It's meditative, and as I said, it is kind of interlocked with my own sense of self. And it's like when you're creating a painting, or when you're in the midst of making it, you're kind of in this, like a boat out at sea. And it's not until it all comes together and the painting kind of solidifies that you're actually make land, and suddenly you have this realization of what you've done or where you are as far as your art is progressing. So in that way, it is kind of therapeutic. It is, you're evolving as a person, you're evolving as an intellect, or your own humanity, or your own personality. Everything is involved with that. It's the growth of yourself, really.
What is your favorite technique? While I was in the class, you had been teaching everything from penciling to charcoal
Right.
to black and whites with paints.
Yeah.
So what is your favorite technique?
My favorite medium, I guess, would be oil painting. That's
Okay.
really, although it's a drawing class, we do work a little bit with the paintbrush. You know, I like to get them to use that instrument because it is the most dynamic. But charcoal is fantastic. You know, I always get, like Willie and all the students, I always get them started with charcoal because it's a disaster at first, you know, and it's a really bold mark, but eventually they start to control it. So you have all of this boldness of the mark, and still starting to control some of the form and everything. And it just helps them to kind of break the ice. And, you know, and when you get with the pencil, you start to get a little too...
Defined.
Yeah, a little
Okay.
too... And the charcoal kind of opens you up, and then you can move into the pencil and things like that and start to really refine the language that you want. You know?
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's weird because, like, while I'm sitting here, I'm also thinking in my mind, is he seeing triangles and circles and ovals while he's looking at me? So as an artist, do you see these shapes and stuff as
I do.
throughout your daily life,
I
just
do.
walking around, you see these?
I do. I feel like the act of painting and drawing makes you visually aware, unlike nothing else, really. I mean, if you sit and directly draw from something that you're seeing, you get kind of plugged into nature, and it will bring thoughts to your mind that you would never even imagine having.
Right.
You really are, you start to unfold the fabric of what this is around you.
That's cool. Recently, there's been this huge surge in paint nights.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah, yeah.
everybody
Okay, the paint
wanting
bars and
to get into their artistic side.
Yeah.
So
Good.
what are your thoughts in kind of, you know, is it something that is good? Is it something that kind of deletes from or liquefies what a real artist
Right.
is?
Yeah. No, I think it is ultimately a good thing to get people working with paintbrushes and thinking about things like color and making things with their hands. Anything that will get people to stop and take notice of great paintings or the great works of art that we have, especially in Boston. Boston has billions of dollars worth of fantastic paintings,
Right.
some real gems. And people need to take notice of those. They are like precious objects, even more now than they ever were, because it seems, because of technology and things like that, we're not making as many of these kind of handcrafted things as we used to, I guess. Maybe that's not true, but
Well,
we
it's
still
less
need to look at these
hands-on.
things. Yeah, we
Yeah.
need to look at these things because it's a very human thing to do. It's an instinctual act to make art, to draw, to be
Right.
able to. Everybody can do it, really.
When we're children, one of the first things we start doing is getting our fingers and our hands into stuff and
Yeah.
making messes all over the walls. I have
I still do.
a lipstick drawing that was on my bedroom door from my oldest daughter. Thank you, Jayla.
Wow. Nice. Excellent.
But as you mentioned, how as technology kind of increases and gets into our everyday lives, I fear that people will lose the ability to be able to work with their hands and their creativity, natural creativity.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we just have to continue to teach it. You know, it has to be continued to be studied. It is a science. Painting is, for me, is a science as anything else, especially the science of the human visual condition. And the most direct means is through your eyes and then out through your hands.
Right.
And that is the most direct connection that you will have visually to the world.
As a teacher, first, what made you decide that, okay, I feel comfortable maybe teaching this art to other people?
It was, I think I would refer to it as a calling. There was a certain amount of study that I had done and information I guess I had gathered over so many years of working on my own and studying from others that you feel called to teach others. It's a responsibility. You know, you have to do it, really.
Yeah.
And that was a major change in my life. I felt like I kind of always was pointed in that direction, but you know, I mean, bottom line is I absolutely love it. You know, it's amazing. You know, these students, Willie in particular, is just, you know, this is one of the first drawing classes that he's taken at UMass Boston, and it's just is excelling. You know, and you see that all over the place. There's incredible talent in this area, and I think that's true anywhere you look, really.
And I feel like the importance of being creative encourages as well that other side of your brain, that more technical side of your brain, because you get a chance to release in your creativity, and then you're fresh when you have to step back to everyday life.
Yeah, it's true. It is. It's actually funny because if you paint long enough or draw long enough in a studio for hours, and then it's so involved in your right brain that you go home and you're like, what is that thing I was using to eat? It's got these, you know, you're like a fork. Oh, right, fork. You know, so you're totally right brain, which, you know, it's great to start to branch into that avenue of your thinking.
Right. Yeah. Well, we are going to go ahead and cut to a brief PSA in a moment or right now. And before we do, I want people to be able to reach out to you if they're interested in either finding out more about your artwork or becoming a student.
Yeah, there's a bunch of the images are on aaronnorfolk.tumblr.com. You can look at those anytime you'd like. You can always reach me through UMass Boston. And if you are interested in a class at UMass Boston or interested in the program, please email me, or you can contact anyone involved with that program, any of the other professors. We've got a lot going on.
Right. All right. Yeah. We will be right back, and we are on set with Aaron Norfolk. Okay. Stay tuned.
We just finished dinner, and it was time for homework. He hates homework. It makes no sense.
I don't know how he finds anything in his backpack.
I can't find my backpack.
I couldn't even read his handwriting.
Holding the pencil makes my hand hurt.
I know he's bright.
Why is it so hard for me?
He's
I'm
just
trying
gotta
as
try a
hard
little
as
harder.
I can.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. Go to understood.org, a free online resource with support and tools to help your child thrive.
Thank you for staying tuned to BossLady News. We are on set with Aaron Norfolk, one of the UMass art instructors. And in the background, we've got one of his students here, Willie, who's working on a piece that we'll be able to show you all shortly. I wanted to also ask you about these pieces that you've created, which totally remind me of like Transformers, because it's so detailed in structure. I just see this transition of their bodies, but explain a little bit about them to me.
These are more recent paintings. They're still actually being worked on a little bit. But I was taking stories, myths, legends, whatever you want, and they're kind of recurring themes in different paintings and cross cultures, basically. And I tried to distill some of those themes, some of those, I guess, symbolic gestures that are made, and I tried to put them into a compact story that can be read in many different directions. This one, for example, is more about kind of a gift or the kind of strange intrigue or mystery of this star man bringing this gift from the heavens to this woman who's sitting in the backyard or back, I guess, porch of her, whatever it is. And I want you to get involved and just kind of fill in the blanks. I want you to go, I've given you enough information. I know what it means to me in many regards, but I want you to carry, on with it. I want you to let your imagination bring it to life.
Wow.
And that's true also with this one here. This gentleman is called Thief, but it's more like kind of the stone that the builder refused. He's going to be kind of the cornerstone. He's the person that ends up becoming the protector for some of these precious items that he's holed away in his Shangri-La.
And it's just amazing how, again, you've got the structure and the definition going on throughout both pieces. And within this piece, I see a lot of intricate shapes. And in the other piece, there's intricate shapes, but then you've got the vases that are on the bottom that seem so fluid. They almost look like a picture, and then you drew over the picture, and it's just incredible. And when you're teaching to your students, how easy is it to get the message across on what they're supposed to kind of come out with?
Well, sometimes it's really difficult. And sometimes you have to figure out a lot of different ways to explain one thing. I do, in the teaching, and you probably maybe noticed some of this, I try to keep it very direct, very simple, because ultimately I want them to figure out what it is inside of them. You know, what is their voice? What are they seeing? What are they into? And if they can find that honestly, if they can honestly look and draw from life and grow just from their own study, then that's it. That's all I can really do, because it's inside them, and they have to do it. I can't do it for them, unfortunately.
So what is Willie actually doing for us back there?
Well, Willie's drawing with the pencil. It seems to be his preferred medium these days. Would you say that's true, Willie? Yeah. And he's working from perception, and right now what we're really focusing on is working on the associations between the forms that you see. How do all of these things work, or relate? Because drawing is much more about the space between you and I, the distance between one knee and another, this interpretation of space and form, and how do you articulate all of these objects and solid masses that you see, because you're dealing with a flat surface, and so to translate that is really an abstract idea. To
go from a flat to almost a 3D image of what's going on.
Yeah.
Wow.
Explain this phenomenon.
Wow.
So that's what he's doing.
And he's doing a really good job.
Just with a pencil.
Because if you guys, Willie, I'm just going to have you tilt that a little bit so they could see it a little better. Yeah. Within this short amount of time, he's been able to capture both of us as we sit here and talk. And I feel like that's what I also found really amazing about your classes, was there were short spurts of technical teaching, and to see what these students were able to come up with within that amount of time was incredible.
Yeah. I mean, they amaze me every year, and there's so many that show up and say, oh, I can't draw. I can't even draw a straight line, blah, blah, blah. And I say, wait, and 2-3 weeks later, I've even had students stop me in the hall as I was walking, I think about your class, and I realized I couldn't draw before, and now I actually can draw. And it's true, you can. You just have to kind of unlock the right doors.
I'm just going to touch base on this really quickly because we only have one more minute. The importance of having art education in schools.
Yeah, it's fundamental.
And not just in colleges, which you teach at UMass Boston, but throughout the high schools and the grammar schools as well, the skills of being able to learn art and how important that is.
It's absolutely fundamental to anything that you're going to study. Everyone has to create. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, if you're going to make waves in the world, you have to be a creative person. And you have to think like that. You have to embrace the ideas of an artist. And when you're taking something like a drawing class or a painting class, you're starting to deal directly with that aspect of your brain. And if you can visualize something, if you can visualize yourself as, I don't know, a captain of industry or one of the great saviors of humanity, if you can start to visualize how that's going to work, you can be effective.
Right.
Okay, so you have to grow your imagination.
Right.
Even if, you're a scientist, physicist, chemist, whatever it may be, you have to think creatively.
Right.
Otherwise, you'll just be, you'll just kind of be
You become one of the
machine.
employees, one of the followers on a regular basis. Well, I want to thank you once again for coming on to the set.
Thank you very much.
And we've got to have you back on, and we've got to have another student on again. Thank you, Willie. I want to keep that piece when you're done.
Make sure you sign it. Willie Hardin.
Willie Hardin.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go ahead and cut to a PSA, and when we come back, you guys are going to get a chance to meet this individual, Michael. He's amazing, and yeah, we've got an Elvis on the set today. I'm super excited myself. We'll be right back.
Brian and Teresa Jones-Diaz, parents, friendly neighbors, and hardworking people. Some people make assumptions about them based on things like race, class, and where they live. Similar assumptions are made about their friends, family, and community as well. Brian works part-time and also fixes cars on the side. Teresa has an administrative assistant job with the city. They pay their rent on time, and they care about their community. Like millions of other people in this country, they are working hard to create a better future for themselves and their kids. However, all of their strengths and hard work can only take them so far. While well-meaning, most social sector approaches to helping families like the Jones-Diaz's are designed to respond only when something is wrong. They don't leverage the initiative people are already taking. The Family Independence Initiative believes that families working together are the most powerful resources to address the economic and social challenges they're facing. Our job is to look for their initiative, capacity, social ties, and collective strength, and to fuel them. To do this, we use a cloud-based data and analytics system to collect information from low-income families across the country. This data is the key that unlocks our ability to see all the initiative families are taking. We apply big data techniques to understand and analyze the information we capture. Then we develop a flexible marketplace of tools families can access to add power to the actions they are already taking. We invest in families based on their strengths and resourcefulness, so they can more easily sustain their progress and be seen for who they really are. As families track their own progress, support one another, and access financial capital, the results begin to mirror the greatness that communities possessed all along. And when we stay out of the way, we see families like the Jones-Diaz's finding and sharing expertise and solutions in their own communities, inspiring families just like them. The Family Independence Initiative is showing the nation that this communal exchange of support and access to flexible capital is what can reignite our nation's economic and social mobility and turn the American dream into a reality. Let's all move up together.
Thank you for staying tuned. Boss Lady News, you all know you can email me, bossladynews@gmail.com. Feel free to go over to the social media. Also, you've got an opportunity to be a guest here, so make sure you're checking out the Facebook because we are live. And if you're interested in being in the audience, just direct message me, just DM me. Now we're going to get a chance to speak with Michael Linscott.
Thank you, dear. Thanks for the opportunity.
How are you?
Very well, how are you?
I'm excited to have you here.
Thank you.
I've always, well, for the past like year or so, I've thought to myself, we should really have something in Boston because we're so like always looking for things to do. Something in New England that pulls together people who look like these different celebrities.
Right.
And lo and behold, one day I'm at a restaurant and I run into Elvis.
Well, thank you.
So how are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
And we've got to know, are you from the New England area?
Yes, I am. Actually, I was born in Boston.
Okay.
I lived here until I was about 4 years old, and I moved to the South Shore, I moved to Hingham.
Right, right.
And I've been there for a number of years. I lived in Brockton, I've lived in different areas of Hingham. I lived in Connecticut for a while, New Hampshire.
Right.
And now we're back on the South Shore again.
That's awesome. That's amazing. And did you always kind of see yourself wanting to be in the New England, wanting to be a performer?
Yes, I've always enjoyed music ever since I was a kid. I played drums, I played in bands and things like that. All through high school and after high school, things like that, I did talent shows and stuff like that. Things to try to get myself out there and try to get recognition. And then
Did you always see yourself as Elvis? Or just back then it was like, I really liked to perform?
Yeah, exactly. It was kind of that kind of, I just liked to perform at that time. I mean, I always obviously admired Elvis. I mean, he was the king of rock and roll, how can you not, right? I mean, incredible talented human being, one in a million. But at the time, I was just trying to get out there and be able to share my music, enjoy the music that was popular at the time.
Right, right. Elvis was very soulful.
Right.
Very, very impactful with his music also, and trendy at the time.
Right.
Of all people, besides the fact that he's amazing,
Right.
how did you really get into the Elvis music?
Well, like I said, I've always admired his music. I've always, sang it in private and things like that, to the radio and things like that. And followed him on movies and TV and so on and so forth. I had a girlfriend who was very instrumental in trying to prod me into this for a number of years.
Yes, yes.
My music, for many years, I put on the back burner thinking that it was past me. It was something in the past, and to leave it there. And through a lot of poking and prodding, she convinced me to, because she heard me sing a number of times to the radio and things like that, and different talent things and things. She said, no, you ought to do this thing. I'm like, oh, yeah, I don't know. I kind of, like I said, put it in the back burner and then think that at this stage of my life, there was a possibility.
Right, right.
2 years ago, I was fortunate enough, I was put into a position where I kind of had to. A wonderful lady named Sheila Reed and her husband Herb had a craft fair down in Whitman. And my girlfriend was also a crafter, happened to be there. I happened to walk in, just use the men's room, and as I left, my girlfriend goes, Elvis is in the building. Comments like this all the time, and like, okay.
Right.
So then someone said, could you sing for us? I'm like, oh, okay. So I did something a cappella. I did Can't Fall in Love a cappella. And Sheila was very impressed, and she goes, oh, I'd like to have you come and do a show here on my craft fair. And I'm like, sure, all right, sounds great. And as time went by, didn't think much of it, thought that she'd forgotten about it, we forgot about it, and that kind of thing, and just go by the wayside. About 2 weeks before she wanted to come down there, she goes, so you're going to be showing up here in a couple of weeks, and all your equipment and all this stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, sure. So needless to say, we had to do some quick backpedaling and get equipment and get a jumpsuit and the whole 9 yards and practice.
So you didn't think it was going to happen, and then it happened.
Exactly. So we kind of, exactly. We kind of surprised ourselves to be surprised.
So I must say, I got a chance to briefly hear some of your vocals. And I'd love to maybe hear some of that now.
All right.
Would you be able to do that for us?
Sure. Thank you very much. And thank you again for your wonderful people giving us an opportunity to be here.
Oh, no, thank you. You can sit, you can stand.
Okay.
Please.
Guess one.
Is our mic good? Our mic is good?
Mic good? Okay.
Yeah, all right.
This will stand.
Yeah.
This is the same song we did, as a matter of fact, a cappella, so. Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling in love with you. Shall I stay? Would it be a sin if I can't help falling in love with you? Like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be. Oh, take my hand, take my whole life too, for I can't help falling in love with you. Like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be. Oh, take my hand, take my whole life too, for I can't help falling in love with you. For I can't help falling in love with you. Thank you very much.
I could take that for you. So, from childhood, knowing you were a performer, loving music and wanting to perform, to now, at this time in your life, getting those amazing opportunities to do that, I can say there's never a moment when you should not keep trying. What would you say about that?
I would say definitely. I would say definitely. Just when you think that something's behind you, you never know what life's going to give you.
Right.
So. Oh, so we're talking.
And now that you are on set, on stage, performing in front of people, how does that make you feel? How do you feel about getting up there in front of all these people?
Well, it's been an amazing opportunity. It's been an amazing ride. In just 2 short years, we've come a long way. And thanks to you, this has been an amazing opportunity in itself.
No,
So thank you
for coming on. And I can only say for myself that being someone who has to get in front of an audience, I always get really, really nervous at first, and then I have to kind of get into my silly mode to get me more like laid back and relaxed. How do you prepare yourself? Because I know you were actually doing a whole set at the restaurant in Weymouth.
Right, Jackson
Yes.
Square in Weymouth.
And so how did
Jackson
you
Square Tavern, it's
prepare
called.
yourself?
I guess just through time and just knowing the atmosphere that I'm fortunate enough to be in is a very friendly atmosphere. So that makes it everything's a lot easier as far as that goes. So I guess it's just a matter of kind of psyching yourself up.
Right, right.
And knowing it's going to be a fun thing. It's going to be enjoyable.
Right.
So every time I go in, it's a passion. And it's a love and enjoyment that I bring to it and feel it all around me.
Right. If people would love to come out and see you perform, or if they want to get in touch with you, how would they do that?
Okay, we're at Facebook, Hingham's Elvis, and we're also at Jackson Square Tavern in Weymouth. That's a gentleman, his name is Viney, he's the chef owner, and his last name eludes me at the time, but he's...
And you're there on Sundays?
We're on Sundays, every other Sunday, from 7 to 9.
7 to 9.
We try to give a little bit of everything Elvis did from the 50s, 60s to the latter years,
Right.
the late 70s.
So do you get the movements going and everything also?
When we have the opportunity. The space is somewhat limited, so we can't move too much, but we try to do what we can.
Wow,
To
amazing.
entertain.
Well, thank you again for coming on to Boss Lady News. I'd love to have you come back again
I
and
would love
do
to
maybe
do
a
that.
different piece for us, and maybe we'll do the full decked out Elvis then.
That sounds fine to me, dear. Whatever you
thank
like.
you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you for staying tuned to Boss Lady News. And I want to thank you because my viewers are as special and amazing as my guest. And Boss Lady News is only Boss Lady News because of you, your viewership, and any of your sponsorships. So next we're going to get a chance to speak with Miss Bon Vivant. Why don't you come on out here? Mish. Mwah, mwah. She's the only one that will double kiss instead of hugging because I know that is the proper.
Yes.
So I am so thankful for having you come on to the show.
Well, thank you for having me, of course.
Yes.
Finally.
We've had a chance to work together through radio shows, which was really amazing. That's the first time I got a chance to meet you, which was on Sterlingtology.
Very true, absolutely.
And you've got quite the personality and so much energy to be around that you really just liven up the space and you liven up a room. And, you know, that's just an amazing quality about you.
Oh, thank you so much. I've just been like such a goofy kid growing up, and I was a big-time tomboy. So for me, connecting with people is something that I've always truly had naturally within my being.
Well, are you originally from the New England area?
No, I am not. I am not a New Englander.
Okay. Not a Bostonian.
I'm not a Bostonian. Well, I've been dubbed the West Coast Bostonian.
Okay, okay, okay.
But no, I am originally from Berkeley, California.
Oh, welcome, welcome.
Yes, Bay
West
Area.
Coast on the East Coast, you know, it just happens.
Right. Yeah, so growing up in Berkeley, being a bicentennial baby was quite incredible. It was really fun, you know, having a lot of diversity in my community growing up. And it was during a time where you had a recession and you really had to be a creative kid, you know what I'm saying? I mean, here I was running around in underoos thinking I'm like Wonder Woman and, you know, collecting stickers and, you know, and having such an incredible experience as a kid.
Right.
Through and through.
That's amazing. So, including myself, I know there are plenty of people out there that are like, who is she? What does she do? And how can I get to know her? So starting off with the first.
Okay.
Who is she? Who is Mish?
Okay.
Right?
Right.
And there's Miss Bon Vivant.
Right.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
All right. Well, you know, for me, I think, like with everyone else, we always have different facets to who we are. And, you know, I've been told when I walk in a room, you know, people kind of gravitate towards me and I have like this mysterious kind of like situation going on. But who Misha is just, you know, this young lady that is here to make a difference, you know, on this planet while she still has time, right? Connecting with people, helping people out, learning from one another, and truly understanding the the possibilities of becoming the better version of yourself. I think that's one thing about me, because when I was a little girl, I used to sit in the back of my father's car. And we will be stopped at a red light. And I used to always look out the window, and I look at the people next to me in their car, and I go, wow, I wonder where they're from. I wonder what language they speak. I wonder what food they eat, because my mom's food is good. So I wonder what they're eating at home, right? And that's always, you know, ran with me throughout my whole entire life. I was emancipated at 15 years old, which means I had to work and live as an adult, which could be pretty scary, you know, for teenagers and stuff like that. But, you know, I persevered through that, you know, through bumps in the road. I learned how to play pool just to get a $5 cheeseburger, you know, meal or whatever. And I learned a lot during those struggles.
So she's a bit of a hustler also.
Well, in a good way, you know.
Nice.
In a good way.
We all do. We all have a little hustle inside of us.
Absolutely. And it was until a few years later that I started my own business called Super Tight Entertainment. Now, I read like this thick book for like HTML programming, and I learned it all by myself in order to create my first website. And this is before Yahoo had the big bang, you know, like it was such an incredible time in the 90s. And I used to model and things like that. So, you know, Misha is just a woman and a young girl at the same time, just trying to find her place in the world in order to help others in the long run.
Right.
Yeah.
So I have personally pegged you as somewhat of a PR person, but somewhat of a highlighting other people also.
Yeah.
Which is why I think I gravitated towards you, because I noticed how you really do bring up certain people within your arena as well, and you bring out the best of those people. I know a project that you're working on with Sterling, DJ Sterling Golden, was or is his book.
Yes.
So how do you do that? How do you begin that conversation with people?
I think it's basically finding out the connection, you know, like physically, emotionally, and really trying to have an open mind to accept them, you know, for who they are. I think that's the first foundation. And then secondly, to give them a chance to explain or to show you who they are. And it just kind of grows naturally. It's like it's really organic how it happens. And so kind of mirroring that energy comes trust. And from trust, it comes more information about one another. And I'm just so honored that Sterling have chosen me to help tell the story about his biography, about his life. Because I think he's such a dynamic individual. I think I'm able to articulate his vision on explaining how it was for him growing up and why he was into this particular sector in his young life that helped him to become the man that he is today.
Wow.
With all of the trials and tribulations that he's gone through in between that time.
Right.
So I found that to be really interesting because, you know, sometimes you can find people, you say, I can kind of relate to that. And I think the English language is such an interesting one, a beautiful one, that you can tell a story. And I'm such a visual person, like everything that I see, if you tell me a story, I can picture it in my head simultaneously. It's like when I listen to classical music, I can take apart every instrument and still listen to it at the very same time. It's weird. I don't know, I'm a weirdo.
The talents that we all have inside of us, I think it's incredible. And we have 1 minute before we cut to a break.
Yes.
But you're also this amazing stylist.
I think I'm more of an influencer than a stylist. I mean, I can style, like I will style someone, absolutely. I think that kind of comes from Macy's, actually. When I worked at Macy's in Lafayette, Indiana, and they actually rejected me and said, you know what, I think you're overqualified. I think you'll be bored working here. There's a bank up the street that I think that you would enjoy. I'm like, okay, I like money, but I want to get this experience in just to see like what I can do with that. And it was a great great ride with working with Macy's, because I took a division and really upped their sales. But not just that, it was just with customer service and with the women personally, and learning how to match with type of traditions that they like. You know, are they trendy, or the traditional? You know, are they kind of like edgy? So I was able to take that and look at really great palettes and put it all together. And I used to actually write for some of the fashion shows that they had in Tippecanoe County for Macy's, which was really huge. So yeah.
You've just been in so many different industries. We're going to cut to a brief break, and when we come back, you all will get a chance to just find out a little bit more of the entrepreneurial side of Miss Bon Vivant. We'll be right back. Thank you for staying tuned to Boss Lady News. I want to make sure we get a chance to learn more about the entrepreneurial side too, so that we can have any of our viewers or any of our other guests maybe reach out to you for some services. So tell me about that. Tell me about the business.
Okay, the business. I'm just going to do a quick little recap first. I started out, like I told you, with Super Tight Entertainment. And then I know you're familiar with Too Short, the rapper Too Short. I used to be engaged to his original DJ that made like the 808s and the beats for Life is Too Short. Getting into that really sparked my whole being for saying, you know what, I like this. I like being an entrepreneur, having my own hours, having that drive, meeting all these people. So that kind of catapulted me to get into the entrepreneurship of my inner self.
Right.
And from there, so I modeled, and then I ended up on Digital Underground's album for Future Rhythm. You catch me on the front cover, inside cover. That was a lot of fun. But moving forward, from having a limousine company in San Francisco, moving that onto Hawaii for 5 years.
Wow.
And then coming back to the mainland, I said, you know what, I'm going to take a break, because 2007 was such a horrible time. Everybody got hit hard. Moving forward, I said, okay, you know what, I want to move to a different city. I want a challenge in my life. I've been underground for a while, so I created Bon Vivant Society Worldwide. Very long, very, very long title, I know. But initially we were an entertainment company. So we would have clients that we would promote, and we would do a lot of different type of media type of situations with our clients. And then I decided, you know what, I want to get a little bit more serious with it. So we transferred into an LLC, a limited liability company, and we do media consulting and for fashion, travel, and lifestyle.
Right.
And so we work with the whole Adobe Creative Suite program. So that nerdship, again, that comes in, I just love putting things together and making it work, and just seeing their vision and making it come to life. So we have a huge catalog that we deal with a lot of amazing developers, mostly throughout Europe, but I have access to thousands and thousands of different type of catalogs for my clients that I can use. And they're all licensed, it's all legal, which is great. And so we do give out it's called the BVS Worldwide Awards, and we're so honored to have that. The first award we have done, that was in 2015, the Legacy Team Award for Marlo Thomas, as you know, for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. And my second company is Socially Luxe. It's a semi-exclusive networking club. We help bring brands and people together while benefiting charities again.
Nice.
Also, we just had our huge soiree in LA. Everybody was crashing the event. It was incredible. Even Senator Nate Holden, that was such an honor. I mean, that man is such a legend already. Tyrone Dubois from from the show, unsung, like that was an honor. So it's, you know, just getting the feedback from everybody was so incredible that we've decided to have our second annual soiree here in Boston.
Nice.
But our third annual award is going to be here in Boston as well.
Wow. Well, we have definitely got to find out more about the awards ceremonies. And it's so important about the media and the social media because that's really people's addresses on the internet. And I think that's super important.
Yes.
We're going to be ending our show, but what are your last comments about media packages and the importance of them?
Okay. So the importance of a media package is to ensure that you can provide for your clients some of the things that they need, kind of like, you know, a special. So if you say you need like a 10-second video and then you need like the flyers to go with it, and you need something else, we can put that together for you, and we can do a la carte, and we can just form, you know, special things for you at a flat rate.
Marketing packages.
Yeah, just some marketing packages. You know, we also do proposals and all types of neat stuff. I mean, it's incredible. Just come talk to us and we will give you a wonderful consultation and we can tell you how we can work for you. And if we can't, we will refer someone else that we know in our beautiful circle of entrepreneurs.
Amazing.
Which is great.
Well, I want to thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
And we're going to have you on to explain more about the business of media and marketing packages.
Absolutely.
So until next time, thank you.
Thank you.
We are now coming to an end, and I love to invite all of my guests to come back onto the set as we close out. So Cube and Mike, Aaron, Willie, Michael, please come back on. I'm so excited that we got a chance to have you guys. Come on.